Hey there, and welcome to the A.D.K channel. Unfortunately, there's no Andy or Kirk with me today, but who I do have with me is Billy from the wonderful band Drown. Welcome to the channel.
Hello.
How are you doing?
All good, you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Thank you for taking a little bit of time just to have a chat with us. Got a few questions. I tend to use very similar questions for each band because it's stuff I like to know about, which is, we're going to talk about the band name, Drown.
Yeah.
Why did you pick the band name Drown? Was it something significant? Was it pulled out of a hat? What was the reason behind it?
We've always wanted like a one-word sort of name, sort of like powerful name, and obviously a little bit emo, something a little bit like out there. And I think we discovered all along that it seems to be a song name by so many of our favourite bands. And one of my favourite bands is 3 Days Grace. They've got a song called Drown.
Oh, okay.
Ben really likes Bring Me the Horizon. They got a song called Drown. It's a Smashing Pumpkins song called Drown. There's so many and I don't think there was a big band name with the name Drown. So it just seems to be all our favourite bands have that sort of song name, and it seems like all our favourite influences sort of come together with a name like that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And how long's the band been together? Because I can't really work out how long, if you're a newish
No,
band.
so our first gig, was May last year. It's come
Okay.
up to a year now since the first show. But we was practicing from like the end of 2021, like October time. So it's been like a year and a half now, I suppose. But me and Sam have been in and out of bands together since I think about 2015.
Right, okay.
And then Will and Sam are housemates, so they know each other, always been jamming. And I think me, Sam, and Ben have been in different bands on different shows together, so we just sort of knew each other.
Yeah.
Because we're all from different parts of the country. I'm from like Hertford, Ben's from Kings Lynn, Will's originally from Leicester, Sam's from Cambridge.
Right.
So, but we're all close together now. Yeah.
Okay, and so where did the idea of coming doing this style of band? Because was it a similar sort of style in previous bands that you played in?
I wouldn't say as emo. I've always liked like emotional sort of music, because that's what I get. That's why I listen to music at the end of the day. But I think it was just a genre that we all liked and could all decide on. I think Sam was in. I've always been in heavy bands, but Sam was in like more like a metalcore sort of band.
Yeah.
I've been on sort of like a grungy, like I don't know, just like bands like Lone Atlantis and like Ruben, that sort of stuff. More like post-hardcore sort of stuff I've been in before.
Oh, okay.
And then I don't think it just naturally happened. I couldn't put a thing. We didn't really decide who we were going to sound like. It just sort of came. Yeah.
It just happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's a really interesting. Obviously, seeing you at Club 85, and it's a style of music we don't tend to get through the door very often. So we do get clean vocals, but they tend to be either rock, kind of classic rock clean, or kind of the indie pop clean.
Yeah.
Or when we go into the metal bands, it's all aggressive, growl, heavy. There's very few bands. I mean, there's only one other band that kind of does the cleanish vocals with the quite high emotional kind of descriptive in their tone. And that would be sort of band like Indifferent Engine, who are very kind of
we really like
pure emotion coming out on their vocal performance.
Yeah.
And you reminded me very much of that. And it's I think one of the things I found was very unique is the sense that a lot of people, when they do clean vocals, almost try and put on an accent. You hear them trying to sound Americanized, and the rock vocals, and they want to sound like someone else. Whereas yours was it's your tone, it's your voice. There's no particular way of putting anything on. And there's a little bit of a kind of a geezer kind of tone. There's a bit of like, all right, my geezer, when you sing. Which I really enjoyed. I mean, I definitely, when we were doing the Metal to the Masses voting, I voted for you guys to go through, because I always say to everyone, it's all about which is in the band that you would want to see again.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily about whether you go, oh, well, they were really but much better because they had this great guitar thing. I'm like, that may not be that interesting.
Yeah.
If they were more interesting, I want to see them again. That was the case with yours. But is that something, because it reminded me of like early 2000s metalcore.
Yeah.
You know, when we had bands like 36 Crazy Fists and
I love them. Yeah.
that sort of band coming around, where we had the kind of aggressive vocals, but there was very much the vocal tone. It was all about attitude. And is that something you kind of thought, well, that's where we're going with that kind of metalcore vibe?
Well, vocally, I can remember, because I think one of my very first bands, like 14, did some tracks demos, and someone said I sounded American, and I was like, I'm never gonna get that comment again. So I've always thought, no one else sounds like you. Everyone's only got their own individual voice. So why try and sound like someone else? And we do want to stand out. Like my favourite bands, like Mike Juice from Low Atlantis, I think he sounds English, but not in like a. I don't go out of my way to sound English. I just want to sound like me, and I think it does make us stand out a little bit. And I can give more emotion across that way, because I think I sort of like talk, sing, vocal fry sort of stuff. Because I love like my rap music as well. I'm a massive like hip hop head. We all. I suppose we was born in a generation where it was all like new metal coming up, and it's the mix of metal and hip hop. So they're my two favourite genres. So I don't know. We've got some like in our new bits. I think we've got some more like talky style vocal parts. I don't think we're a new metal band in the slightest, but like that's where I've sort of get my influences from sometimes as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, as I said, I could definitely hear metalcore. You can hear a little bit of like the oi metal, hardcore elements sort of as well coming through, but you're not specifically one genre.
No.
At all. There's elements that you've drawn into the band, which I think worked really, really well when we saw you.
I think we do that on purpose. I don't think we try and sound, let's put all these different genres together. It's just like what we like. And I think with my bands I've been in, always been a bit of a fusion band. Like I like funky rhythms, like groovy style music. Again, probably comes in from like the hip hop element sort of stuff. So yeah, and just emotional stuff, music as well.
So I can see you've got a few shows coming up over the next month or so, I believe. But what I guess is the plan going forward? So music, recordings, what's
so we've released one song already off our EPs coming out. We haven't really talked about the EP yet because we've been basically we've got a PR company that's helping us release our music video that's coming out soon. That we actually shot in the studio. So that's coming out next month in May, and then the whole EP, which is a 5-track EP, is coming out in June. Just a self-titled one, and hopefully we'll do a little gigging off that, maybe a little tour towards September time, and then just keep recording, keep gigging, basically. But that's our next thing, music video, and then the EP.
And when does the music video drop? Do you have a date?
I couldn't tell you the exact date. I think it's middle of May. It's probably really bad, but yeah.
Just keep an eye out for mid-May some point and for some sort of announcement on it.
Yeah.
And will the EP be basically a case of it just dropping all at once, or are you going to do what some other people have done, which is they drop, if it's a 5-track EP, they drop 4 singles and then drop the 5th one as the EP drops, or are you just going to go?
No, not quite as drastic as that. We released a single called Love, which was like BBC introducing track of the week, so we got quite a good reception for that. And then this one, Butterflies, is coming out, and we've got 3 more to release when the actual EP comes out.
Okay.
So it gives you a general idea of it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you'll send us a copy of the EP in advance, and we can review 100%. It on the channel.
Yeah, definitely.
We like to do reviews of EPs in advance. You got to send it to us, though.
Yeah, cool.
We can do that for you, and we'll give you some honest feedback for the channel. I don't know about Kirk and Andy because they're the extreme death metal guys. So
yeah. No, it's quite cool being on we've never ever, in bands I've been in, I've always been the heaviest band on the bill. So that was a different experience, especially the very last time, the guest headline band. That was like, whoa. Maybe
yes, I can't remember what night were you on? Who was the bands that were on your night?
So we had War-Torn Wings, they're mates of ours. Who's other guys? A Stranger.
Oh yeah. And then you had, was it Phobiter with the headliners, weren't they? Yeah. Yeah. So I forgot. I've done so many of these videos now, and so many of these Metal to the Masses heats. I'm starting to forget which bands were on which night already. But yeah, very interesting bill. It was a strange bill as well, because it was with the openers before the Sirens are seasoned professionals of Metal to the Masses, and just came out the gates thundering, which were great. And then for the rest, it's War-Torn Wings, relatively new band, I would say, probably about a year and a half, 2 years maybe. On the go, doing their EP. A Stranger, I have no idea what goes on with a Stranger. Just so much. It's such an eclectic, and I'm actually speaking to them shortly. But
I thought it was very like Dillinger Escape Plan sort of vibe. Maybe a little bit of Glassjaw in there as well.
It was, yeah. I watched their video back and did the editing for it. I just was like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure what's going on here half the time. It's just so many changes, so many things happening, and it's quite an experience to see. So
yeah,
it's fun to do. But anyway, I'm really looking forward to obviously checking out the EP. Looking forward to checking out the video. Best of luck for everything in the future, and obviously what's going on with the lives and the live gigs. Hopefully I'll get a chance to see you at another show, maybe at the Corn Exchange or something like that.
So that's
my local.
Next Thursday we're playing there, and we've got a gig on Sunday for like Little Rock and Priory, but then London as well. So yeah, got quite a few coming up.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, best of luck with that, and just a big thank you to Billy from Drown. Thank you very much.
Thank you.